Hey guys, so this week we're going to be taking a look at the Core Pack from Topo Designs. And I've been very curious to try out Topo bags for a long time, as they've always seemed like really well made bags and they always had some really interesting looking designs. On top of that, their bags always seem to have a big focus towards the outdoors, which is a nice switch up from a lot of the tech focused and city oriented bags that we've looked at on the channel recently. So I had reached out to Topo to see if I could get a review unit for their travel bag, which had recently come out and looked awesome, and they were kind enough to not only send the travel bag but also the Core Pack. And so I've been testing this out for the past couple of weeks, and overall I have to say this is a really solid kind of all-around bag for either daily use, work use, or even quick weekend trips. It's been a really great experience so far, and I want to go ahead and thank the company for sending the bags for me to test out. So let's just go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at the Core Pack from Topo Designs. So before diving into the outside of the bag, one thing I wanted to call out is that I did notice that my Topo Designs logo is actually upside down on this bag from the other bag that I received and the ones that I've seen on the site. I believe this is just a slight defect, as this is a review unit. So just wanted to call that out, as if you purchase the bag, you will be getting a logo that is right side up. So jumping into the outside of the bag, I really like the aesthetic that Topo has chosen to go with here. As I mentioned in the intro, I really like the outdoorsy look that their bags have typically had to me. And so one of the first things I noticed on the outside was just all the different kind of straps and loops that the bag offers. And so on their site, these little loops here are described as being meant to hold an ice axe. So very cool, very outdoorsy. I don't foresee myself using an ice axe in the future, but definitely going to aspire to that now that I have had the chance to interact with this backpack. So definitely has more of an outdoorsy feel. I could see myself taking this bag for a hike, as well as for use throughout my day-to-day. The bag has a very simple style. It's not a lot of flash, besides the very bright coloring. So I do have the red version of the bag, but it's offered in a black, gray, and green version. So all the colors of the bag look really sleek. I was excited to get the red one just because it's very different from the other bags that I've typically used, and it does match well with a lot of the outfits that I typically wear. So not too understated for taking into a fancier office or for wearing with something dressier like a suit, but the simple design, especially in the darker colors, is going to work well in a variety of environments. And there's something about the simplicity of the look that really speaks to me. I've looked at bags like the Evergood CPL 24 and the Recycled Firefighter 24-hour backpack. You know, they have also a very understated, simple, almost outdoorsy style that really speaks to me. So I love that this bag had something similar, and that it offered even more organization than those bags. And so the bag is made out of a durable feeling 1000D nylon. It has a water repellent finish, and it also has really beefy YKK zippers all around. Unfortunately, the zippers don't have the same aqua guards that we've seen on a lot of other daily bags, but with the covering that they have here, the fabric that comes over the zippers, I do believe that it's going to help keep water out effectively. I haven't had any issues. I've been caught in only light rain with this, so nothing too heavy, but for the most part, the bag has held up really well. Another benefit of the materials used here is that the bag, it's very light. It's about 28 ounces, so when the bag is empty, it really feels like you're not carrying much. So that's great that you don't add any extra weight to your belongings, especially because the bag has a large capacity. I was really surprised by how spacious the 25-liter bag was, and I was able to fit a lot of stuff in here. As we go through, you'll see that I have the same items that I've used in all my other daily bag videos, and I've also included some shoes just to showcase that you could take this to the gym. But I was very excited to see that could also work well for quick trips. So just a really spacious bag. And I like that as I'm wearing it, it doesn't look too bulky. So even though it has a larger capacity, it doesn't stick out awkwardly or anything like that. It just hugs my back very well, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. So it's definitely a bag that I feel very comfortable using for daily use. Continuing on with the outside of the bag, I was very excited to see that it has two water bottle pockets, one on each side. And these are very spacious, flexible compartments. They have this nice elastic band here, which allows them to expand out for bulkier items and then pulls them back into place when they're emptier. So currently what I have here is the same water bottle that I've used in all my other daily bag videos. And as you can see, that fits in there very comfortably. And once the water bottle has been removed, the elastic pulls the pocket back towards the bag so that it maintains a sleek look if they're not in use. So really like to see that there. Very spacious compartments. And then on the other side, you can see I have the tripod that I featured in a few of my recent videos. I've been using this to get footage as I'm out on the go, and I really like the flexibility of these tripods. And so that fits in here very comfortably. They're both equally sized, so I could have put my water bottle in this compartment. And so moving on to the straps and the back paneling, I really like the straps that were used here. They're nice and thick. They have a good amount of padding. I like the mesh material that was used here to help prevent moisture from building up. And they're nice and flexible, so right out of the box, the bag is very comfortable to wear. And the bag also features an adjustable and removable sternum strap, which helps distribute the weight. And this is pretty easy to adjust. I would be a little concerned that this might get lost, especially if you don't have it attached. It's a little bit concerning just how easily this might slip out of these loops. I didn't notice any issues when I actually tightened the bag up and clipped it to my chest. On top of the padding and mesh material that the straps have, I really like the width as well. They're nice and wide, especially as this is a larger bag. It's great to see that they're not going to be digging into your shoulders as you're wearing this for longer periods throughout the day. And then at the very top of the straps, they have some load lifters here to help pull the back closer to your back so that it can be a little bit more comfortable as you're wearing it with a lot of weight. While we're on the straps, you'll notice that I have my Hero Clip carabiner that I like to take with me everywhere I go now so that I can hang my bag up as opposed to resting it on the ground. And then on the bottom of the bag, it includes a removable waist strap. And so this isn't something that I've used very much. As I've mentioned in many of my prior videos, I'm not a fan of this type of waist strap, which is very much just a simple strap. It doesn't have any sort of padding. I don't really believe that they help alleviate the weight off my shoulders that much, so typically I just leave them off. But it's nice to see that they are included with the bag if it's something that you want to use. So moving on to the back panel, as you can see here, very minimal, very simple. There is actually a good amount of padding on the back, even though it's not that obvious immediately because this is just kind of a flat surface. So the bag does feel comfortable as you're wearing it, but it does tend to get very sweaty as there is no elevation, there's no mesh. I do wish it had included some of the mesh that we saw on the strap, as that would have helped at least provide a little bit of resistance against that moisture building up. And it would have been nice to have some elevation here, some sort of air channels, but because as I've been wearing this with a lot of weight, my bag has tended to get pretty sweaty. So something to keep in mind. Some people may not mind. And honestly, most bags, if you weigh them down with enough stuff, even with elevation, there's gonna get pretty sweaty, but it would have been nice just to see a little bit of additional padding in this area, as this is a pretty large bag. One interesting feature about Topo bags is that they seem to be designed with the ability to connect to their larger travel bag. So as you can see here, it has this little nylon loop here at the top, and they have one at the bottom. I use the one on the top here to hook onto their travel bag, which I've been testing out and I'll be doing a full review for in the next couple of weeks. It seems to hook on pretty well. The system is very interesting. I like the thought of being able to add a daily bag to my travel backpack so that if I can just carry them both on my back as opposed to having to wear one on the front and one on the back. It's a pretty nifty idea, especially Topo sells smaller day bags that are gonna work better for that purpose. This bag, since it's so large, looked kind of silly in my opinion when it was hooked onto the travel bag. They're almost the same size bags as I'm testing out the 30 liter. But maybe with a larger travel backpack or a smaller day pack combined together, I could see the system working out pretty well. Moving into the pockets of the bag, I was really happy to see that they offered a good amount of organization. It's not overwhelming, but it's just enough, and each of the pockets seems really intelligently laid out. So they just have one quick access compartment here on the top so that you can reach down and grab smaller accessories very easily. So opening that up, you can see there's a nice bright lining on the inside of all the pockets, which is going to make it very easy to see everything that's inside. So currently what I have in here is my Apple Magic Mouse, and then I have a lightning cable to charge my phone. So this is really just meant for those smaller accessories that you can reach down and grab quickly. Here you can see I can't quite fit my full hand in there. Pulling out the lining here, you can see that it doesn't have any sort of felt material to prevent against scratching if you do put your phone in here, but just a great simple pocket overall. On the front, the bag has another quick access compartment with a big vertical zipper, so lots of space here. I really like all the zipper pulls that the bag has. Also, they're very easy to grab. They add a nice accent to the bag. So opening the compartment up, this is very similar to the large front access compartments that we've seen on bags like the CPL24 and the recycled firefighter bag. But the big benefit that this bag has over those is that it has a good amount of organization within the compartment. So with those bags, one of my complaints was that if you put any items in there, they all tended to sink towards the bottom, and it just became kind of a mess inside the compartment, and it could be a little bit hard to find whatever you needed to. Love to see that Topo mitigated that with some really great organization inside. So first off, I just have my sunglasses with their case laying here a little bit loose. And so looking into the compartment, you can see that even without the organization, it's fairly spacious, so you could fit something like a notebook or even your tablet in here if you just needed the flat space for something larger like that. But as far as the internal organization, the compartment has two zippered pockets, and they're equally split. So on one side you have a more concealed one here. It doesn't have the mesh material, so you can't see what's on the inside. And what I have in here is my UTech wireless charger for my phone. So the compartments are fairly spacious. As you can see, they have a good amount of volume. I can fit pretty much my whole hand into this first compartment that's closer to the bottom. You could probably put an external hard drive in there or a large portable battery, so nice versatility there. On the other side, there's not only a mesh compartment, but a bunch of bands here that you can use to organize smaller items, so that was really cool to see. Currently what I have in here is just a pen in one of them, and then I have my Gerber dime multi-tool. And then there's a larger band here all the way towards the top that is housing a larger portable battery. So love to see the organizational options that are included here. They definitely make compartments like these a lot more versatile. And so here you can get a better look at the bands. There seem to be about 4 or 5 of them of varying sizes. So if you have a lot of EDC items that you carry with you, they're gonna be able to be stored here very effectively. And then there's also a clip that you can use to attach your keys. Currently I have one of these S carabiners attached here. I just find them a little bit easier to use when I wanna get my keys in and out quickly. And so there's not a lot of length on the lanyard here. It's just a very simple clip that you could attach your keys or a pocket knife or multi-tool to if you want to keep it organized. The last compartment under the bands that we just took a look at is a large mesh compartment that also has a zipper, so it will keep whatever is in there in place. Currently what I have in here is my BluePop portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank, and so that compartment is the same size as the lower compartment, very spacious. As you can see, I can easily fit my whole hand in there, so lots of volume to hold those larger accessories that you might want to store in this compartment. Next up, I want to take a look at the laptop compartment. So on the back, the bag has a dedicated laptop area. And so this is a top loading compartment. It doesn't open particularly wide. So just a good area to store some of those flatter items. Here you see the same bright material that we saw throughout the rest of the bag. And so at the top here, there's a little pass through if you want to put a water bladder in this compartment. But this is really meant to be kind of the laptop area. Because the compartment's so large, I did store some of the other flat items that I typically like to carry with me on my day-to-day. So currently I have just a simple folder with my papers and receipts. And then I also have my Levitate portable standing desk. And then now with the compartment a little bit empty, you can get a better look on the inside at the laptop area. It just has this very simple sleeve. So that was one area that I was a little bit disappointed with the bag as a whole, is the laptop compartment. I feel like it didn't offer as much padding as a lot of the laptop compartments and other daily bags that we've looked at here. So as you can see, there's not a lot of padding here, just an elastic sleeve that kind of helps keep the laptop in place. The back of the compartment is very well padded, as this is the padding that's shared with the back area of the bag, which makes it comfortable to wear. So this does offer a fair amount of protection, but I do wish that this sleeve here had offered a little bit of padding or some sort of felt lining. The bottom of the bag is fairly padded, but because the compartment's not elevated, I definitely recommend being a little bit more cautious, but still a lot of space offered here. Currently what I have is my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and as you can see, that fits in there very easily. Lots of leftover space, so if you did have a 15-inch laptop, that would be able to fit in here very comfortably. And with the amount of leftover space and width that the bag has here, if you want to add a protective sleeve, that's going to fit in here very comfortably if you want to just have that extra bit of padding for it. So really easy to get into the laptop and pull it out, and here with the laptop out, I'll give you a clearer view at the back. So just very simple overall, lots of space, but I do wish that it had included a little bit more padding. And so moving on to the main compartment, this was one of my favorite areas of the bag just because of how much space it offered for a daily bag. And so the bag has a nice wide opening zipper, so you can pretty much lay it down flat like a clamshell style. So with the items that I carry with me on my day-to-day, you can see that this is still very empty. There's plenty of space to add a change of clothes, to add a lunch box. And so the first thing you'll see here is that I have a pair of running shoes. These are my Nike Free Runs, and they fit in there very easily. Even with those in here, there's just so much space left over, which is awesome to see. So taking those out, you can see some of the other items. It'll be familiar if you've seen my other daily bag videos. So currently what I have is my Beats Solo Wireless 2. And then I have the stash pouch from Able Carry, which has just some smaller accessories that I don't want floating around this main area. And then I also have my GoRuck Wire Dop, which keeps all my cables and dongles organized. Next up, I have a full-size Moleskine notebook here. And then the last item is just the reference book that I carry with me for work. And that fits in here very comfortably. This is a thicker book, so it's great to see how much leftover space there still is. And so here you can get a full view of the main compartment when it's empty. So no internal organization in this area, just a lot of open space for you to use however you want. And so I was very excited to see with the amount of leftover space that this definitely felt like a bag that I could use for a quick trip. And to showcase this capacity, I have my double-sided packing cube that you've seen in all my other travel bag videos. So that goes in there very easily. And then I also have my smaller packing cube that has my underwear and t-shirts and socks and things like that. Next up, I have the Air Travel Kit, which is an awesome little dop kit, which we'll be doing a full walkthrough on in a couple of weeks. So this is almost like a full-fledged travel bag. Right now, I have everything that I would need for a 2-week trip. So that's very impressive. And then if I wanted to, I still have room to fit in an extra pair of shoes. So there are my Toms, which I like to travel with. And then I could still close the bag up very easily. And then the best part is that it's not packed out completely yet. So I still have plenty of space to use the front organizational areas for smaller accessories. And then I also have access to the main compartment. As you can see, I could still fit my laptop in there very comfortably. So just an incredible amount of space in a small package. And that really helps add a lot of value to the bag. So even though it's simple, definitely doesn't make it any less capable. So just really impressive overall. And if you're looking for that one bag that you can kind of take into any situation, this is definitely gonna be a good option to check out. And so to wrap up, I've really enjoyed testing the Core Pack out over the past couple of weeks. It's been a really versatile all-around bag that I've been able to use for work, for daily commuting, and even for packing some gym clothes or even using for a quick weekend trip. And so you can purchase this bag on the Topo Designs site for about $129, which places it right in line with other well-made daily bags that we've looked at on the channel. It was interesting to compare this to a lot of the bags that we've looked at. As I mentioned in the intro, we typically have kind of more sleek, tech-focused bags, so this is a little bit more outdoorsy, a little bit different from the look that we typically have. And so it reminded me a little bit of the Evergood CPL24, which was kind of a similar crossover bag that we looked at a while back. That's been a super popular daily bag, and I definitely enjoyed testing that out. And so the CPL24 is a little bit more expensive than this bag, coming in at over $200. And it does feel a little bit more rugged than this bag, and I believe the laptop compartment is better implemented on that bag. But if you're looking for kind of a similar crossover bag that's going to work well in the outdoors, that offers a lot of space and kind of simplified but very capable organization, and you have a little bit of a tighter budget, I definitely recommend checking this out. This bag also reminded me of the recycled Firefighter 24-hour backpack, which we looked at a while back, which has been one of my favorite daily bags that I've looked at over the past year. That also opens up pretty wide. It has a good amount of capacity. It's a little bit smaller than this bag, coming in at 22 liters versus 25 liters, but they're in a similar price range. This bag has a little bit more organization than the recycled Firefighter bag, but that one is gonna have a little bit better laptop compartment in my opinion, and I just like the look of that bag quite a bit. And that bag is gonna be around $150. Another bag that might be good to compare to this one would be something like the Bellroy Classic Plus backpack. That was another great kind of all-around bag, very sleek looking, very well made. It's a little bit more expensive than this one. That one's closer to the $200 price point as well, but it has a similar style to me. It's a bag that has a little bit more organization than this one, and I do like the laptop compartment a little bit better. However, this bag is going to be able to hold a little bit more. It also feels really well made, and if you're looking for something similar to the Classic Plus but want to save just a little bit of money, this might be a good alternative to take a look at as well. And then the last bag I'll mention here is the Boundary Supply Prima system, which I've mentioned a lot on the channel. That's one of the best kind of overall bags and systems that we've looked at in the past. And that's a little bit more expensive than this as well, coming in at that $200 price point. However, that bag includes a lot of really cool accessories. It's really, really well made. It's a little bit different than this one in that it's more of a top loader with a flap, as opposed to kind of this one that opens out a little bit wider. But it also seems to me like a very outdoorsy bag, and if you're looking for something with a similar style to this but want just a little bit more versatility, that might be a good option to take a look at. And so compared to all those bags, I was really impressed with how well the Core Pack held up. It's definitely a bag that works in all sorts of different situations and environments, and if you're looking for a reasonably priced, durable, and very stylish bag, I definitely recommend checking this one out. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, we will be reviewing the Topo Designs travel bag on the channel in the next couple of weeks, so if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. And so I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bags for me to test out. It's been a great experience, and if you guys have any questions on the bag's features, please let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like, and thank you guys so much.